What's going on, everybody? This your boy Doc Holiday. We're back with another HBCU Overdrive. If you haven't done by now, please like, share, comment what you'd like to see on the next show, and most of all, subscribe. Share it with your friends, let them know, subscribe to it. Be the only HBCU content that you would get that we go into Overdrive. So, as everybody know, we go into doing this thing like church, and we got announcements as usual. So as always, interviews. I want to go ahead and start doing interviews with other HBCU content creators, even somebody from the FCS that's basically into football. Just basically we could do like an interview roundtable and stuff like that. Want to get everybody, I wouldn't say name put out there, but it, put my name out there and everybody else's. That's something that I want to do. Also, you want to go ahead and find somebody to do Friday Flowers for me. I'll put that on my show as usual. Haven't done it in a while, so I'm trying to get back on it for a little bit. It's been a while since I did a show, so just basically just kind of be patient with me, and everything gonna be all right. But before we get into talking about HBCU stuff, I want to go ahead and give my condolences to the family of Bill Russell. As everybody know, on Sunday, Bill Russell, the Celtic great, the NBA legend, the man, the myth, that dude. Y'all know he passed away on Sunday morning. Family said, died in his sleep. He was 88 years old. And we're talking about a man that basically won 11 NBA championships out of 13 years, 9 as a player and 2 as a player coach. Nobody has ever done that before. I don't think nobody would ever do that right now. Again, what he has done for the game of basketball is very immense. You got to realize he has the NBA final, the MVP trophy for the NBA finals is named after him. He is one of the top 50 players and also one of the top 75 players that's in the league. This man was the epitome of a team player. As everybody know, he is from Monroe, Louisiana. He took his talents to University of San Francisco, where he won 2 national championships in basketball with the Dons back in the 50s. And as you know, Red Auerbach called his name up in the draft, and he basically played for the Celtics and won it with the likes of Bob Cousy, Havlicek, Sharman. Name me some, give me some more names, but that man epitomized basketball in the 50s and 60s. His greatest rival, everybody know, was with Wilt Chamberlain, where he beat Wilt Chamberlain I think 8 times in the finals where they met in the finals. And also he's the first African American coach in the NBA to be a player and a coach, and he won 2 chips in that fashion. So he is held to great respect in Boston, in the NBA community, in the basketball community, and in social justice as a whole. But like I said, I want to give my condolences to the late great Bill Russell. Sir, you will be missed. Um, uh, there will be no other person like you. And so we're gonna shift on from that, and basically uh the next thing I want to talk about, Deshaun Watson suspension. Yesterday, everybody got the news yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yes, it was yesterday that he has been suspended for 6 games for the regular season. We're talking about as far as him having the allegations with the 24 women, but it was also another 30 out there, and majority of these women have been settled. There was a time where all of this, the Houston Texans settled with most of the women that was out there, and this is what the suspension really was brought on by Judge Sue L. Robinson. She came out of retirement to be that third party for the NFL when it comes to suspensions and hearing cases like this. So um, um, he only misses 6 games. He had to realize he missed a whole year because he was on the commissioner's exempt list while all these cases played itself out. This man also 2 courts in Texas said there was not enough evidence to take it to a grand jury, but everything else now is a civil case. So part of his punishment is basically he has to have, if the team if he wants a masseuse, excuse me, y'all, if he wants a masseuse, he has to have it through the team. The team has to give him the team related masseuse. He cannot go out there and try to get this person, that person, and if not, then that suspension will be a little bit longer, and he's going to lose a little bit more money. There's a lot of people talk about it, said that it should have been more. Granted, I think it should be more, but you got to realize, like I said, he missed the whole season because of all the allegations. And remember, if you really think about it, all of this stuff came out once he said he wanted to leave out of Houston. He saw the writing on the wall when Bill O'Brien traded DeAndre Hopkins to the Cardinals for really nothing. People say, well, they got David Johnson. No, they got nothing. David Johnson was a shell of himself as a running back. So they got nothing. They got nothing in return. Also, they let J.J. Watt go for nothing. They let Jadeveon Clowney go in free agency. They got rid of most of the receivers that he had. So basically, the team around him was being basically picked apart by Bill O'Brien and the McNair family. I'm not gonna say not that McNair family as far as with Steve, but we talking about the McNair family as in Robert McNair. He was the owner. He was the owner and founder of the Texans. So his family estate has control of the team. like I said, he knew the writing was on the wall when his team was about to be blown up, and he wanted out. And as soon as he wanted out, that's when you're seeing all the allegations come about. And I say that the Texans were complicit in what was going on, but also he was complicit what was going on because I'm to the point where he knew what he was doing and he knew what he was doing was wrong. Um, does this leave a bad taste in the NFL's mouth? A little bit, yes, it does. It does leave a bad taste in their mouth a little bit. Um, it doesn't appeal well towards the women fans, um, per se, and that basically kind of turned, it kind of turned a blind eye. Basically, the NFL was trying to correct itself from what happened with the Ray Rice situation. Basically gave him 2 game suspension, and then when the video came out of him striking his then fiance, now wife, um, basically Ray Rice was basically tossed out of the league. You haven't heard from him since. There's also been other allegations as far as like with the Greg Hardy situation with him beating up his girlfriend and um, with the guns and stuff like that. And the Cowboys gave him a try. And really, I wasn't a big fan of that right there. I'm a Cowboys fan. I wasn't a big fan of that. So, uh, no, it still leaves a bad taste in the mouth. People gonna say, well, what about with the Calvin Ridley situation? Calvin Ridley got a suspend. His suspension is a year because he betted on football and he betted against his own team. It's basically the same thing. If you look at baseball, it's basically the same thing. What happened with Pete Rose? Pete Rose betted on his team. He betted against his team. He betted on baseball in general, and he got the lifetime ban from Faye Vincent back in the early in the early 80s. Um, so will the NFL lose some sort of sponsors with the women? Some sort of sponsors? No, because it's almost a $10 billion corporation. Um, but will they have the ire of the women fans, of the female fans? Yes, they will. Yes, they will, because they feel like that this man should have been handled uh, seriously. And it's crazy because we talking about the same NFL that banned Michael Vick for 2 years, even though he went to prison for 2 years, and they try to ban him, they try to blackball him. But as y'all know, the Eagles gave him a chance, and he had this comeback story. He had this redemption story. I don't see anything as far as a redemption story for Deshaun Watson, because Cleveland is on the hook for $230 million guaranteed given to give this man right here. So I feel like it could have been done a better way. But from other experts, they said that this was the best punishment for him. It was either going to be 6 games or 8 games. I knew the NFL was lobbying for a whole year. And the judge, she said that was going to be the case because at the time this was not a nonviolent offense. This was more of a sexual misconduct offense. Let me know in the comment what you think about that. How y'all feel about that. And we could talk more about that. But even though I know it doesn't have anything to do with HBCU football or anything with the culture, but it's something have to do with some, like, basically these kids, when this is just a learning experience for the men that's going to be trying to come to try to play in the NFL. Hey, you have to keep your nose clean. Keep it clean at all costs. And remember, you got to Like y'all know the old saying, we have to do twice as much to even keep the status quo, if you really know what I'm saying. Um, but that was the one of the big news as far as what happened for this week in professional sports. Also, let's shift to another one. Uh, Kyler Murray, the Kyler Murray contract. So I'm laughing at this because the Kyler Murray situation is something that kind of was brought up on it was brought up on him. Um, as y'all know, um, the Cardinals put a homework clause, an independent homework clause in his contract, saying that you, Kyler Murray, in order for you to get this money, to get paid and to get the guaranteed money, you have to spend 4 hours out of your time to study the playbook. Um, it got backlash because people was talking about it. We laughed about it. We joked about it until he saw it and said it was the disgrace. Now, the disgrace is you signed the contract without reading it. You didn't even know that the independent clause was in the contract until people started talking about it on social media. So I'm gonna give you a breakdown about Kyler Murray. Yes, I am from Dallas. Um, so I had the pleasure of seeing Kyler Murray when he was in high school at Allen High School take his team to 3 straight class. At the time, one was class 5A and the rest of it was 6A. Division I football championships. He went undefeated. He went undefeated in his high school career, 43-0. Okay. Uh, won three straight championships. And I was a witness to all 3 of them. Really, there was no type of contest or anything like that. So Kyler Murray he's an anomaly if you really if you really know where I'm coming from. Uh, so he goes to his dad's alma mater, Texas A&M, and he's a quarterback. He's sitting behind Kenny Hill as a quarterback. We also have at the time, this is from moving away from Johnny Manziel. No, I take that back. It's not moving away from Johnny Manziel. Johnny Manziel was on the team also. Um, he when it was basically Kenny Hill was, I don't know if he was struggling or he didn't fit into the system with Texas A&M with Coach Sumlin, so he basically transferred to go to TCU. Kyler takes over at Texas A&M. They have a good record with him at A&M, and basically, like I said, you have that following year, you had Johnny Manziel get ready to come into play. Okay, so Johnny Manziel is here. What does Kyler do? Kyler says he wants out of Texas A&M. He doesn't want to have the competition because he felt like it should be his job. But I feel like every job should be up for grabs, no matter who comes in or not. You should be able to earn your play. Excuse me. On the team. So, what does he do? He takes the he does the Baker he takes the Baker route and he goes to Oklahoma. So now he goes to Oklahoma. He has to sit out a year. So while he's sitting out a year, he's behind, Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield basically wins the Heisman and everything. So y'all already know how that season went. So when he took control at Oklahoma, he basically did the same thing with what Baker Mayfield did. Took the team, they went to the college football playoffs, and he becomes the Heisman winner for that year, and he becomes the number one pick in the NFL draft. So this is what I say about Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray has in his mind that he could turn the switch on and off at any time that he wants to on the football field. And us people that is from the area, from Dallas, know that is not how the game's supposed to be played. Once you're on the field, that switch is automatically on. That switch should stay on all the time, because you don't know who's going to be right, who's behind you, that's going to put basically, you don't know who's going to be there to basically get your spot. That's all it is. So what did he do? We get to the Cardinals. You start off hot and then you lag the last half of the season. You start off hot the next season, and then you lag half of the next season. To me, I feel like this came about from people at top, mainly Cliff Kingsbury, because Cliff Kingsbury knows Kyler Murray, because of the fact Kyler Murray and Cliff Kingsbury is like this. They like this. Kingsbury was his quarterback coach. Let me rephrase that. Let me tell y'all. Let me say that again. Kingsbury was his QB coach at A&M before he took the job at Texas Tech. Let's just say that. Let's say it again. Cliff Kingsbury was his QB coach at A&M before he took the job at Texas Tech. So Cliff Kingsbury know everything about this guy. He basically recruited the guy to come to A&M. So that basically means that Kyler does not, in a sense, the reason why he said it was the reprehensible and it was disrespectful is the reason why they put it in there. You don't take time out to read the playbook. You are a professional, so you got to take the time out to read the playbook and to study film. That's what the greats do. They study film. They take the time out, through the playbook. They the first one in, the last one to leave out of the building. So Kyler, basically, he's actually signed with FaZe Clan, which is a e-gaming crew. Consists of Bronny James and Destroying and some other guys. So you spend more time playing video games than basically doing what you're supposed to do as a professional. So he also got drafted in first round in baseball. So he felt like, look, y'all ain't gonna respect me as a football player. I go play baseball. Okay, you go play baseball. You can do that if you want to, but we're gonna look at you in in a different light. So I'm to the point. I'm like this. You play for the Arizona Cardinals, which is a professional football organization. That is your job. So if you supposed to go out there and perform to the best of your ability and do your job and everything, you shouldn't have no problem. But if you really think about it, a lot of the kids, the that's coming out or that's in the NBA or the NFL right now, they are getting these clauses inside of the contract saying that you have to be able to study the film for at least a couple of hours. I mean, 4 hours a day shouldn't be no problem. I mean, I know everybody's grown and stuff like that, but you should be able to do a job. That's your job. You get paid to do that job. But Arizona, as some idiots as usual, they took the clause out of the contract. I would not have did that. I was going to say you either under the contract or you go somewhere else. You don't get paid. Point blank. But tell me what y'all think about that in the comment. And finally, so now we're gonna get to the real deal. We're gonna get to some football. We're gonna get to HBCU football. So y'all know it's August. August is the first beginning of August. Fall football, fall camp has started. So so all football players have reported to camp. You have at least like 28 days or something like that until the first football game, which is the BX Challenge. That's Howard versus Alabama State. Like I said, I want to see that game right there. I want to see how Howard does, what they're going to do with Eden James as their running back, how they're going to come about, how they're going to start their season off. Alabama State, I want to see, we all want to see how Coach Robinson is going to do in his coaching debut with his alma mater. I'm looking at that, and I'm also looking at the Aggie Eagle Classic, the Dukes Mayo Aggie Eagle Classic, North Carolina Central. They returned a lot of players from last year with their quarterback, Davion Davis, which he should be better with having a year of experience under his belt. And I basically want to see how A&T going to start out before they go into that following week before go play North Dakota State in Fargo. Now that game I really want to see right there. I want to see how they come out against this school, and I'm rooting for them because everybody's saying that black college football, football teams do not want to go to North Dakota State. We run away from the smoke. I'm not saying that we're not going to run away from that smoke. So I want to see that to be a competitive game. Also, we also got the Labor Day Classic with Texas Southern and Prairie View, which will be Bubba McDowell's coaching debut. I want to see who the quarterback is going to be for Prairie View. Is it going to be Trajan Connolly, or is it going to be somebody else? That's the main question for Prairie View. Who is going to be your starting quarterback? I feel like the defense should be all right, even though you lost Jason Dumas. That was the heart and soul of your defense from last season. I want to see how y'all come out against Texas Southern. When it comes to Texas Southern, I basically want to see how Andrew Body's going to come out. Is he going to come out on fire, or is he going to come out basically, flat? But we don't know until we actually see those games. Like I said, will be at the Texas Southern Prairie View game. So I will be down in Prairie View on that Saturday to kind of check out the action on both sides. Basically want to give my input on the game, and we go on from there. And last but not least, I want to check out the Orange Blossom Classic. I will not go to Miami, but I will watch it on TV. That game is on a Sunday. Woo! on the ESPN network. So my main thing about the OBC is, like I said first, who's going to be the quarterback for Florida A&M? If you want to be in the game and have the game managed at a you know what I'm saying, quasi slow pace, you go with Sean McKay. If you want to see that ball chunked in the air, thrown around the field and stuff like that, I'm going with Jeremy Musa. Point blank. Fam got the receivers. John Murray Sheree, yes, the Texas State transfer. Not only is he good for special teams, but he is also a capable receiver. Xavier Smith is a hell of a receiver. So I'm trying to see how he goes about playing up against the DBs for Jackson State. Who's going to match up on him? Will it be Travis Hunter matched up on him, or will it be Nugget matched on him? They lose a little bit ground because they don't have Bishop Bonnet anymore. He graduated last season, and I don't know if it's going to be a tough break for FAMU to even run the ball. Now, on the side of Jackson State. Okay, so Jackson State, we're going to have to replace a guy that was a bully on the defensive line, which is James Houston. That man recorded 16 and a half sacks. He was a TFL monster. So who do J State have to replace him? To me, basically between if you really think about it, and if you know Dennis Thurman's defense from the NFL and Jeff Weeks, the defensive line coach, I think they're going to have a whole rotation of defensive linemen come into the game. So it's not going to be just one person try to dominate in the game. I feel like it's going to be multiple people on the defensive line that's going to try to dominate because they have to control the line of scrimmage. You have Niles Gaddy would be on one side, and if I'm not mistaken, you have another guy from Texas A&M transfer. The name is slipping my mind. Put it in the comment. Let me know who the name is. He's going to be on the other side. Also, in the middle will be Aubrey Miller. Aubrey Miller is the anvil of the defense. He is the quote unquote unsung leader of the defense. So I want to see how he performs at the OBC in the game. I want to see how the back end, the DBs perform. Now remember, Shiloh will not be. I don't think Shiloh will play in the game. If he does come back by the time the OBC starts, that is a grace of God, because they were projecting him to come back by at least the second or the third game of the season. But we'll see. But you still have Cameron Silman Craig in the backfield, in the defensive backfield. He is the honey badger for Jackson State. So what I mean by honey badger is, he's not that big, but he plays with tenacity. He plays with a mean streak. He loves to hit, and he will cover you. He does not care how big you are, how fast you are. He's going to get on you. And everybody knows you got the two cornerbacks on the island. So you got Travis on one side, and then you have Nugget on the other side. Nugget wasn't really tested like that last year, per se. but I feel like he's going to be tested this year. And I think this is coming from his own father, Mr. Moore. He's going to be tested. He's going to be tested coming up because this is his senior year. So he basically is going to be trying to get his stock up as far as with the NFL draft. There's other games that I want to actually go. Like I said, I actually want to go see. I want to see. I basically want to see how Grambling and Jackson State do. I want to see how Coach Hugh comes out against Coach Prime when they play in the W.C. Gordon Classic, and it's in Jackson. That is the third game of the season for Jackson State. I also want to see how we deal with an actual FCS opponent from another conference, which would be Campbell. And they are coached by Mike Minter, ex-NFL safety, played for like 13 years, been in coaching ranks for a while. This man knows how to recruit. He knows how to recruit his area. He knows how to recruit the state of North Carolina, and he gets South Carolina. I just want to see how he does with the players that he get that's coming in, and basically how they're gonna, I want to see them lock horns. There's some other games you're looking at. Alabama State is going to UCLA, so I see that as a money game. We all know what's going to happen with that game. They're going to fly out all the way to Pasadena, and they're going to get their head knocked in, and they're going to get a check. We're talking about the MEAC. South Carolina State is bar none the best team in the MEAC, unless Norfolk State has something to say. So it's going to be, with the MEAC, it's going to be a toss-up between South Carolina State and Norfolk. And y'all know Norfolk is ran by Dawson Odoms. He is more of a defensive-minded coach, but he's also more of a run the ball, pound the ball, ground and pound game, so forth. And let's not forget about Coach Pugh, Buddy Pugh, with South Carolina State. That man's been there for over 20 years. He knows how to develop his players. He knows how to get his players to the next level. Jablonski Green, watching film on him, he's a man beast. I'm going to just say it just like that. He's a man beast. I want to see how he does against the teams that they're going to play this year. So my prediction as far as who wins the SWAC is going to be a toss-up between Jackson State and FAMU. So whoever wins the OBC basically is going to be in the driver's seat for the SWAC East, because after that, you control your own destiny. In SWAC West, I'm looking at I don't see Prairie View repeating that SWAC West champs. I'm looking at more like a Grambling. And can't forget about Southern with Dooley down there. The only question is who's going to be the quarterback for Dooley. So, and you really think about it, they return most of everybody on the defense with Jordan Lewis. They got Josiah Greyhouse. Dumas, Jason Dumas is there. So their defense is going to be stacked. So I see SWAC championship game, I see Jackson State versus either a Grambling or a Southern in the SWAC championship game. And I see Jackson State going back to the Celebration Bowl. In the MEAC, I basically see South Carolina State running the whole table. They running the whole table. Like I said, Norfolk got something to say about it. But I can't forget about Delaware State. They have a good defense, good running game, good coaching up there. Yeah, I'm looking for I'm looking forward to a lot of games to be watched this season. I'm putting my little 2 cents in on it. So I also want to look at some D2 schools, man. Y'all really think about it, man. I want to see some good D2 football. And I know it's a good D2 football that's out there. I'm going to check out Langston, which is not that far from here, about a good 4.5 hour drive. I want to check out that quarterback, Tripp Harrington. What I've seen on film, the guy got an arm. The kid got an arm. He got an arm. He can sling the football. He can do all the reads. He can make all the reads, and he can make all the throws, short, intermediate, and the long ball. Also want to check out Edward Waters down at Jacksonville. See how they do. They was 4-7 last season, and they was still making a transition from NAIA to Division II. So they're in that second transition to Division II, and now they're in the running to play for a conference championship. So, like I said, there's going to be some great football that's going to be out there this season. We're going to come back when the season starts. Like I said, I will be at the Labor Day Classic, Texas Southern, and Prairie View, and I'm gonna give my take on that. Also, like I said, I'll also be at the second game, which for Texas Southern, they'll be here in North Texas to see how they play, fare up against them. And then the third game for Texas Southern, they will be here in Dallas at the Lone Star Classic against Southern University over at Choctaw Stadium, Arlington. If you know the alumni, Southern alumni travels, I want Texas Southern alumni to get up and travel also. These kids are playing for y'all. For Texas Southern, man, it's going to be a good brand of football. So y'all need to come out there and support. But like I said, as usual, I do my shout outs. I shout out to my wife. Without her, I wouldn't be doing this. She'd probably be telling me, hey, take your ass to bed. It's time for you to go to bed. You gotta get up and go to work in the morning. She gonna do it anyway, but I still love her though. She know this is something I like to do. I love to do. So I basically, give my shout out to her. If my youngest daughter was here, I probably would have had her on the show, but she kind of camera shy. She said she didn't want to be on YouTube, but I'm gonna shout her out anyway. Peyton Isidra, that's my mini-me. Daddy loves you. That everything that I do it for you, and I do it for all my other kids. Also give a special shout out to my nephew, Jeremiah. He just turned 21 on the 31st of July. So my boy is legal. So I told him he could do what he do. I'm proud of him. I'm proud of my other son, Devon, playing his senior year of football at Ranch View High School here in Carrollton. On the football team. I'm proud of him. I'm proud of my other boys, DJ and Darren. One's going starting his freshman year in high school. The other's starting his first year of middle school. So, my kids, they mean a lot to me. Special shout out to, I'm gonna give a special shout out to my boy Blue, the Blue Buds. Yeah, a heck of a show earlier tonight. I was, in on the back end of it, but it was, a hell of a show. Nonetheless. Give a shout out to my boy Scotty, off script. Because, like I said, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be doing this HBCU stuff right now. I probably have bought all this equipment for nothing, but I'm making use of it. But he's been there for he's been there for me. He's been basically like a big brother to me in doing this HBCU creative content. Um, so yeah, those are my shout outs for today. Tomorrow, tomorrow evening, I will be going live on my show. Um, I'm trying to get in contact with doing a call in, so live call in, but y'all have to kind of tell me how I should be able to do that. Um, but until then, everything's gonna be in the chat. And I'm looking for some moderators for my chat for my live shows, because I'm trying to get people to come in to you know have fun, talk they trash and stuff like that. And yeah, this is gonna be one hell of a football season for all HBCUs, basically for all college football and professional too. But until then, I am your guy. I am your boy. I am your ace, Doc Holliday, with another HBCU Overdrive. And as always, it gets greater later. Peace.